The most embarrassing ways people have died. This sounds like it's going to be a good one. So, Vonnie, time waste, let's get right into it.
The pig that lived.
The pig that lived? What the hell type of name is that? I already know this one's bound to be embarrassing.
On July 4th, 1991, 3 friends in Eaton, Ohio had been drinking all day to celebrate the holiday. At some point, they got hungry for fresh pork chops, so they drove to a nearby farm and stole a pig. They loaded
What? Who does that?
the hog into the back of their pickup truck and took off. No rope, no cage, nothing to hold it down. The pig was not happy about this. As they sped along at 90 miles per hour, the pig started going crazy, kicking and thrashing around in the truck bed. None of the 3 men were wearing seatbelts. When the pig got ejected from the truck, the driver swerved to avoid it and lost control. The truck went off the road and all 3 men were thrown from the vehicle. All 3 died. The pig...
Imagine like someone asks, not even someone asks, like people found out how you died, right? And it was by a pig that you decided to kidnap and it ran off the road and made you all swerve off a cliff. That's crazy. Like, how does that even happen?
Pig survived. It walked away from the crash without a scratch. The farmer got his pig back, but the 3 men never got their pork chops.
That gotta be one of like the worst ways to die, because that's crazy.
The elephant that came back. In June 2022, a woman named
The elephant that came back. I already know this one's bound to be bad.
Maya Murmu was going about her day in eastern India. She lived in an area where humans and elephants often crossed paths. And that day, an elephant attacked her and trampled her to death. Tragic, but in regions where elephants roam free, these things happen. Her family prepared her funeral.
That's crazy. No, imagine, like, this is why I'm low-key scared of elephants, because they weigh like 1,000 pounds or something like that. Imagine pissing one off, and this is in India, so you know them Indian elephants don't play.
And placed her body on the pyre. Mourners gathered to say goodbye, and they thought it was over. It wasn't. The same elephant that had killed her showed up at the funeral. It walked straight toward the pyre, grabbed Maya's body with its trunk, and pulled her off. Then it stamped on her corpse over and over.
What? Oh, hell no. This elephant wants his get back.
When it was done, it tossed her body aside. The mourners ran, and the elephant left. Nobody
That gotta be personal, though. Why is that elephant so mad?
knows why it came back. Maybe it remembered her, or maybe it held a grudge. Either way, killing her once wasn't enough. The lawyer who
This is why, like, keep elephants away from me. I'm good.
proved too much. In
The lawyer who proved too much. Let's see how this one goes.
1871, a lawyer named Clement Vallandigham was defending a murder case in Ohio. His client was accused of shooting a man to death, but Clement had a theory. He believed the victim had actually shot himself by accident while drawing his own gun. It
What?
wasn't murder, just a clumsy mistake. He decided to prove it to the jury right there in the courtroom. Clement grabbed a pistol to demonstrate exactly how the victim could have accidentally shot himself while pulling out his weapon. He would show them step by step. There was one problem. The gun was loaded. Clement pulled the trigger during his demonstration and shot himself right in the abdomen.
Are y'all hearing this? You can't make this shit up. What? That gotta be one of the worst ways to go out. Like, what? You just showed the court how you died. Like, that's crazy.
The same way the victim had died. He had proven his point a little too well. Clement died about 12 hours later, but his demonstration worked, and the jury was convinced. His client was found not guilty. The crocodile
Nah, that lawyer went above his means to make you seem not guilty. That's crazy.
fell on the plane. On August
The crocodile on the plane. What the hell kind of name is that?
25th, 2010, a small plane was flying over the Democratic Republic of the Congo with 21 people on board. One of them had a secret. He had snuck a crocodile onto the plane in a duffel bag. Why?
Who does that? Like, what the fuck do people be thinking sometimes? Because who thinks in their right mind, you know what, I'm gonna sneak a crocodile onto an airplane? Like, why? Sometimes people just don't be making sense.
No one knows. They were coming into land when the crocodile escaped from the bag. It ran through the cabin, and people saw it and freaked out. The flight attendant rushed toward the cockpit, and all the passengers followed. All the weight on the plane shifted forward, and the pilots lost control. The plane crashed into a house just short of the runway. 20 people died.
That's crazy. Like, rest in peace, but who thinks to bring a crocodile onto a plane? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Some people just don't be thinking.
The pilots, the flight attendant, and 17 passengers. All because one man wanted to smuggle a crocodile. There was one survivor who told police what happened. No one would have believed him otherwise. The crocodile also survived the crash without a scratch. It crawled out of the wreckage, and someone killed it with a machete. The Rooster. On January 30th,
No, I already know this one's embarrassing because going out by a rooster, that's crazy.
2011, a 35-year-old man named Jose Luis Ochoa was at an illegal cockfight in Tulare County, California. Cockfighting is when people strap...
Yo, I'm sorry, I just can't take the name cockfighting seriously. Like, what? Out of all names to name it, cockfighting.
Knives to roosters and make them fight each other, and it's illegal in all 50 states. Ochoa was no stranger to the scene. The year before, he had paid $370 in fines after pleading no contest to owning or training an animal for fighting. During one of the fights, a rooster broke loose and started flapping around in a panic. It slashed Ochoa in the right calf. The blade cut a major artery. Ochoa was bleeding badly and needed to get to a hospital. But then police showed up to break up the cockfight, and Ochoa...
Yo, are y'all hearing this? Showed up to break up the cockfight. Like, that don't even sound right.
Fled the scene along with everyone else. By the time he finally made it to a hospital, it was too late. He died about 2 hours later. Ochoa had trained roosters to kill. In the end, one killed him.
That's bad. That's really bad.
The killer who couldn't swim. In 2017,
I already know there's bound to be some dumbass shit. The killer who couldn't swim.
a man and his girlfriend were having a nasty argument by the Havel River in Germany. Things got physical. He grabbed her and shoved her into the freezing water, expecting her to sink. The river was 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and his plan was simple. She would drown. There was one problem. She was an expert swimmer. She started making her way back to shore, and he panicked. His plan was falling apart, so he jumped in after her to finish the job. There was another problem. He couldn't swim.
Dumbass. Yo, you can't make this up. Like, this gotta be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Imagine throwing someone into the ocean to kill them, right? They could swim, so they save themselves. And you're just like, you know what? I want to finish the job. You jump in right after them, but you realize your dumbass can't swim, and you end up drowning. That gotta be one of the worst ways to go out, bro. Like, this guy's an idiot.
She made it to land and was rescued, but he didn't make it anywhere. Police pulled him from the river and rushed him to the hospital, where he slipped into a coma. They charged him with attempted murder while he lay unconscious in his hospital bed. He never woke up. He died on February 14th,
Dumbass.
Day. The
Valentine's Day is crazy. What? The Atomic Wedgie? No, that's a crazy name.
Night of December 21st, 2013, in Oklahoma, a stepson named Bradley Davis, a Marine veteran, got into a fight with his stepfather, Denver St. Clair. The argument got heated. Neighbors heard them shouting. Then Denver said something about Bradley's mom. Bradley snapped. He grabbed his stepfather's underwear and pulled hard. He didn't stop.
What is wrong with people? When you get angry, imagine you get mad, right? And your first instinct is to give someone a wedgie. Like, you gotta check up on yourself, cause that gotta be fruity. That gotta be very sus. Like, what is wrong with you?
And he kept pulling until the waistband went all the way over Denver's head. You've seen this in cartoons. A kid pulls another kid's underwear up their back as a joke. Everyone laughs.
I'm sorry, I've always felt wedgies are very, very, very weird, bro. Like, why would you dig your hands under? I'm just gonna stop talking, cause what the hell?
And no one gets hurt. This was not a cartoon. The underwear wrapped around Denver's neck and cut off his air.
Holy
he couldn't
shit.
breathe. Denver St. Clair died from a wedgie. The police came and saw the marks on his neck. They ruled it death by asphyxiation. And
imagine as someone asking how did they die, and you say he died from a wedgie. That's crazy, but rest in peace to him. This son, he needs to get his brain checked, because how you gonna get mad and your first thought's gonna be, let me put this guy in a wedgie? This ain't a Disney Channel show. What are you doing?
Bradley was arrested and charged with manslaughter. He got 30 years in prison for a wedgie. The garbage chute water slide. On July 14th...
Yo, all these names are just crazy. That garbage chute water slide.
2000, a group of friends came back to a Calgary apartment after a night of drinking. It was almost
Calgary apartment? Yo, I live in Calgary right now, so hey, that's crazy.
3 a.m., and someone came up with a challenge. The building had a garbage chute that went straight down 12 stories. One of the guys joked that it would make a great water slide. Everyone laughed. Then a 25-year-old named Sheldon said he'd actually do it. He climbed into the chute and went down headfirst, beating the elevator to the bottom. But the ride didn't end in a pile of trash. It ended in the trash compactor, which turned on as soon as he landed. His friends rushed down and tried CPR until help arrived.
That's so stupid. What are you thinking? Why? Why would you think, sometimes people can just, he basically killed himself. Like, what?
Too late. It was the worst water slide ever. The Hurricane Party. In 1969, Hurricane Camille was heading straight for the Mississippi coast. The government told everyone to leave, and if you couldn't leave, find somewhere safe. A group of friends had a different idea. They decided to throw a party. They wanted to
whatever happens to these guys, they had it coming. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They had it coming.
Watch the hurricane up close. So they picked a second-floor apartment right on the beach. The view was perfect. The location was not. Someone said the concrete foundation would keep them safe. They invited everyone they knew, and more people showed up. They had drinks, they had food, and they watched the storm roll in. Then the wave came. It was 24 feet tall and hit the building head-on.
That's crazy.
The walls ripped open, and the whole place fell apart, and everyone inside got swept out to sea. Hurricane Camille killed 143 people that night.
Holy!
20 of them were at that one party. The Chimney Burglar. On November 27th, 2015.
Yo, just from that name alone, I already know this is bound to be some silly shit.
19-year-old Cody Caldwell decided to rob a house in Huron, California. The owner was away and the lights were off, so it looked like an easy target. But Cody didn't break a window or pick the lock. He thought he'd be clever. He climbed onto the roof and went down the chimney like Santa Claus. He got stuck halfway. Cody couldn't go up and he couldn't go down.
Like, what? Why are you... Okay, some people are just so desperate because in order to rob someone's house, you sneak in through the chimney. There's like a million ways that can go wrong, but I guess people just aren't thinking these days.
He was trapped inside the chimney all night. The next morning, the homeowner came back. It was late November and it was cold, so he did what anyone would do. He lit a fire. Then he heard screaming coming from inside the chimney. He put the fire out as fast as he could and called the police. They came and pulled Cody out. Still alive, but badly hurt from the smoke and the heat. Cody died shortly after from asphyxiation. The Grand Canyon.
That's crazy. Imagine trying to rob someone's house, you end up getting stuck, but you die right after. Like, that's wild.
Prank. In 1992, a 38-year-old man named Greg Austin Gingrich was vacationing at the Grand Canyon in Arizona with his teenaged daughter. They were standing near the edge of a cliff, taking in the view.
Already your first red flag, standing near the edge of a cliff.
Greg decided to play a joke on his daughter. He started pretending to lose his balance, waving his arms around like he was about to fall. He wanted to scare her. His daughter was not impressed. She'd seen this joke before. She rolled her eyes and walked on ahead. Then Greg actually lost his balance. He fell 400 feet into the...
Dumbass! Like, what are some people doing?
The canyon. His daughter wasn't even watching anymore. All for a joke that didn't land. The hot sauce. On February 27th, 2012, a 43-year-old man named Gary Banning was hanging out at a friend's apartment in Havelock, North Carolina. His friend was a mechanic who kept a jar of gasoline by the kitchen sink to remove grease from his hands. Gary saw the salsa jar sitting by the sink. It was full of golden liquid, and he thought it might be alcohol. He grabbed it and took a big gulp. It wasn't alcohol.
Crazy.
It was gasoline. Gary spat it out. His mouth was burning and the gas was all over his clothes. He needed to calm down, so he went outside to smoke a cigarette. He burst into flames instantly. Fire.
Wow, that is unfortunate. Like, that gotta be one of... There's been a lot of crazy ways to go out in this video, but that one gotta be one of the worst. Like, wow.
Firefighters found him...
Not even due to embarrassment, just due to, like, ignorance. He didn't know what that was, and he just... That's wild.
Badly burned, sitting on a charred carpet. He died the next morning at a hospital burn center. The investigator called it just a freak incident. It wasn't. The RC plane. Roger Wallace was 60 years old and used to race drag cars in Arizona. Then he decided drag racing was too dangerous and he needed a safer hobby. So he joined a radio-controlled airplane club. On May 18th, 2002, Roger was out flying his RC plane with his club near Tucson. It was a nice morning, and the plane weighed about 6 pounds with a 5-foot wingspan. Then the sun got in his eyes. Roger lost sight of his plane and couldn't see where it was, but the plane was still flying and he was still holding the controller. He flew it directly into himself. The plane hit him hard. He never woke up, and he died shortly after.
That's unfortunate. Like, that ain't even that, like, although that ain't even that embarrassing, like, that's just unfortunate. That's just crazy.
The club president called it the freakiest of freak accidents. He got killed by a toy plane. The dumpster now. One night in July 2009, a 35-year-old teacher named Scott Williams went out drinking with his flatmate in Brighton, England. They hopped between pubs until his flatmate got kicked out of a bar for falling asleep. After that, the two got separated. It was raining hard, and Scott needed somewhere to shelter. He found a large wheelie bin, climbed inside, and fell asleep.
Who, like, what, you see what I'm saying? People just don't make sense sometimes. You feel tired, right? And you go to take a nap in a dumpster. Who does this? Like, yo, whatever, yo, these people just be making me mad, bro. Cause what? He deserves what's happening to him. Cause who thinks about this?
The next morning, the garbage truck came. The driver didn't check inside. He lifted the bin and dumped it into the back of the truck.
Which makes sense because no one would expect a human to say, you know what? Let me take a quick nap inside of a fucking garbage can. Like, what? Not even a garbage can, a dumpster, which is even more crazy.
And the compactor turned on. It had happened before in Brighton. Twice, homeless men had been scooped up the same way, but workers heard them screaming and stopped the compactor in time. No one heard Scott. 2 days later, workers at a waste transfer site found Scott's body among the rubbish. His flatmate fell asleep in a pub and got kicked out. Scott fell asleep in a bin and never woke up. The train roof. On June 11th, 2008...
The train roof, bro. Don't tell me this guy's sleeping on the roof now. We got people sleeping on garbage cans, so I won't be surprised if this guy's sleeping on the roof of a train.
2 friends from North Canterbury, New Zealand wanted to get to Christchurch, which was 36 miles away. Cole Higginson was 25 and Nicholas Uprichard was 23. They didn't have money for a bus, so they came up with another idea. A freight train was passing through Waipara, and it slowed down as it took a corner. The 2 friends climbed on top of one of the wagons. Free ride, no ticket needed. Pretty clever, right? What they didn't account for was the railway footbridge near Blythe Road. It had less than 20 inches of clearance. The train was traveling at 50 miles per hour. It was nighttime. They never saw it coming. A forklift driver found their bodies on the roof of the wagon when the train arrived in Christchurch.
That's crazy.
Both had died instantly from severe head injuries. A bus ticket would have cost them a few dollars. The grenade selfie. In 2007...
The grenade selfie? Oh yeah, I'm curious to see how this one went.
17, a man named Alexander in Russia wanted to impress his girlfriend. He had a grenade, and for some reason he thought holding it would make a cool photo. So he sat in his car, pulled the pin out...
Yo, sometimes people just don't be... Yo, this video itself is just making me mad. Because what are people doing? Like, what?
Held it up and took some pictures of himself. Then he tried to put the pin back in. It wouldn't go back in. The pin is the safety, and once you pull it out, the grenade is live. Alexander thought it wouldn't explode as long as he didn't throw it. He was wrong. The grenade went off and Alexander died in his car.
Police
crazy. Found his phone with the photos still on it. They ruled it an accident. He just didn't know how grenades work. The manhole. On February 2nd...
That gotta be one of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, what? Who decides to take a selfie with an unpinned grenade in the first place? Like, he was just asking for death at that point.
2008. A biology teacher named Lydia Tsakova was driving through Sofia, Bulgaria, with her husband and a friend. She had been doing chemistry experiments at home and had leftover chemicals she needed to get rid of, including bottles of diethyl ether and methanol. Both are highly flammable. The car stopped near a school in the Hadzi Dimitar district. All 3 got out, walked over to a drainage shaft, and started pouring the chemicals down the hole. The sewer was an enclosed space. The fumes built up fast. Something sparked and the whole thing went up. The explosion was so powerful, it launched the manhole cover into the air. It hit Lydia on the way up and took her head off. She died instantly.
Holy, that is bad.
Her husband and friend survived, but were rushed to the hospital with severe burns. The friend fell into a coma. She was a biology teacher. She should have known better.
Yeah, you're a biology teacher. Like, what? So, yo, like I said, bro, I don't know what people be thinking these days.
The tiger fence. On a Sunday morning in December 2005, a mugger in Bloemfontein, South Africa, robbed a couple at knife point. Security guards nearby saw it happen and gave chase. The mugger needed to get away fast. There was a fence nearby, so he jumped over it and into the zoo. He ended up in the tiger enclosure. There were 2 of them. The tigers mauled him to death.
Yeah, that, like, he got that coming, bro. So he didn't, like, before he climbed up the fence, he didn't see, like, the tigers just walking around. He just said, you know what? I'd rather face tigers than get caught by the police. Like, that's crazy.
Visitor to the zoo found his body later that day, covered in bite marks. The tigers had been fed the day before, so they weren't hungry enough to eat him. If they hadn't been fed, there would have been nothing left to find.
That's crazy. Like, a lot of the deaths that happened in this video are insane. Y'all let me know down in the comments though, which death do you think was the most embarrassing? Because for me, it's that one dumbass who threw the lady in the water and said, you know what, let me finish the job, and jumped in the water his own damn self, but realized, wait, I can't swim. Yeah, that guy that guy had his death coming. He definitely had the most embarrassing death in this whole video. But y'all let me know down in the comments which one you think is the most embarrassing death. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.